Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to say all honor, all the glory, and all the praises be given unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kudash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, whose labors we have entered into. To the 144,000 and the elect, I say shalom. This is the brother Halal from the Great Millstone branch of Chicago coming at you with another lesson of truth. And these Jakes that are in the world, Jake is always, known on a certain level who their, adversary is, but in these last days, man, these Jakes are finding out who their real enemy is. Jake is finding out that his true enemy, the one who's been seeking to slay him the most is the Edomite, which is consists of the so-called Caucasian or white race, man. Beginning with the elite international bankers on down. Esau Edom has always been our main adversary throughout history. There's really a generational rivalry that we've had with these people going back to since before we even came out the womb. When you read Genesis, the 25th chapter. But hey, these Jakes in the world, man, they're understanding that no matter what they do in this devil's society, they will never be accepted and they will always be looked down upon. Why? Because Esau Edom is our enemy and he is our adversary, man. And he is to be treated as such. And these two-thirds are about to find out who their enemy is the hard way. So I'm going to let this video play. This Jake is going to detail, his trials and tribulations, being in the military and operating under these Edomites. So let's find out how this man was treated by the country that he fought for.
Hey, what's up? So, I received a couple inbox messages in regards to my videos and why I'm talking the way I'm talking. I'm going to share something with you bitches. I grew up in the Oakland Hills, had a very privileged life, didn't know my ass from the hole in the ground, was lost, never accomplished anything, rather bullshit, this, that, and the third. Age of 21, my mom kicked me out. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I took to lightweight moving hubble rocks and robbing people. I met my beautiful ex-wife and I was able to relinquish some of these vices, but I had a very difficult time. I found myself in a homeless shelter because she had even left me. I made a decision to go to the Army. I learned in the Army my shortcomings and my deficiencies. I corrected them. I learned something called selfless service. I was able to step away and look at other people who don't have before looking at what I have. I was able to learn. I almost died in the Army. I saw racism, only for me to be retired 100% T&P and see the same motherfuckers I was putting my life on the line for sit on their goddamn hands and remain complacent and quiet instead of attacking the motherfuckers who are misrepresenting them, to include my dead fucking friends. And now the Supreme Court wants to erase a component of history that allowed these motherfuckers to exist to this very fucking day. The only thing I can think of that is a trade-off is your fucking soul. Slapping in the face of black people, end. It's over. Yesterday, the Supreme Court drew the line in the sand. You cross that shit, you will be remembered in the past tense. Sincerely, a pissed off nigga who put his life on the line for a country that still don't give a fuck about niggas.
And hey, that's what it is, man. Jakes that have served in, the military, really all of us in general. We're all working, toiling, laboring, for a nation that never gave a damn about us. And for an enemy who has always tried to destroy us in each and every way. Whether it be physically, psychologically, in any way possible. Biological warfare, poisoning the food and the water and the air. So these jakes in the world, they're finding out, man, that Esau Edom is the main problem, and has always been the main problem in this world, man. There's Ecclesiasticus, otherwise known as Sirach, chapter 12 and 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." Like it says in in the book of Corinthians, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know who our enemy is, and the scriptures gave us a direct commandment to not trust in him. To never put our faith in, these heathens that are upon the earth, man. Because these heathens seek to destroy us. It's more than just Esau. You have Ham, Elam, Moab. They all seek to destroy us. Like it said in Psalms 83. And it said what? For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And it's easy for rust to accumulate on iron. Just look at an iron skillet, for example. So in the same way that iron rusteth, that's how Esau's wickedness is, man. Meaning it's always there. It will always accumulate. Verse 11, it says, "Though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when we have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And now remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or is any such come nigh unto wild beast? So is one that goeth to a sinner and is devoured with his sins, who shall he pity?" So, because we recognize who our enemy is, we know the characteristics of Esau Edom. We know that, like I said in verse 11, it says, though he humble himself, though Esau Edom may seem like he's a good guy, he'll give you, he'll let you serve in the army, fight for the country, sacrifice yourself for his sake. He'll let you get a decent job. He's letting a few of these jakes attain celebrity status. Although he may seem like a good guy, there's always a what do you call it? There's always an ulterior motive to what Esau Edom is doing, man. And there's a specific purpose to why he's doing it. Why do you think these Edomites that control these food corporations poison the food, the air, and the water so much? Because they seek to destroy us. They want to slowly weaken our bodies so that we will be subservient to them, and not trust in anything else, man. And that and the elite of Esau Edom, that's their plan for all of these people, man. They're gonna establish that NWO, that digital system, which will be which the head of that will be the MOTB, the micro CHIP, the Revelation 13 and 6. That's their plan, man. And the main target is going to be the Israelites, man. And we have no place in this devil's rulership. In this devil's new world order, we have no place in what Esau Edom is trying to bring forth, man. But this is Psalms 37 and 32. It says, "The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off." Wait, matter of fact, hold on. Now, the point was in verse 32, Salakia. Matter of fact, let me go down to verse 35. It says, "I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I saw him, but he cannot be found." So the wicked, which ultimately, Esau Edom represents the wicked, the sons of the wicked in the earth. That's why it says in the book of Malachi that Esau Edom is the border of wickedness. And he's always seek to slay the righteous, man. And those that are completely contrary to his ways, man, which is us, ultimately beginning with the men of the Lord, with us being the main targets, man. Esau Edom is not concerned with, these niggas out here in the world. Although they have some amount of zeal, Esau Edom's main target is us because we understand who he is and we understand what his end shall be. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 5. Because, hey, man, our Lord is going to vindicate us. We're not going to be in this estate forever where we're constantly, trodden under the foot of these heathens, man. Eventually, the Lord will liberate us and we will get that much needed revenge, man. But ultimately, Yahweh Shai has to get his first. But verse 5 of 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And that's us. We're the ones lifting up our voice to the Lord, begging him to come back and deliver us and destroy this devil and take him out of rulership so that the righteous kingdom may stand, man. Because the Lord sees what we're going through at the hands of our enemies. And although we're being punished and afflicted for what we've done, the time of our affliction, let's see, what is that? Lamentations. Hold on. I have to look it up. I know it was something in... Bear with me. Yeah, Jeremiah 49 and 15. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and 15, it says, hold on. Verse 12, Salakia. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And that right there is talking about us, the Israelites. We've drunken of the cup of affliction. We've been punished and downtrodden under these heathens. And they furthered the affliction and went far beyond the limits of what the Lord set out for them to do. That's why in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, verse 33, where it says the northern and the southern kingdom of Israel were oppressed together, it says what? They refused to let them go. There was an appointed time when we were set to lead their captivity. And Esau Edom, he overextended that, man. So we've drunken of that cup, and now it's Esau's turn. It says, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra, which is the city of Edom, and it's always referring to, the people before the place, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come up against her and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. And that's these Edomites, man. You know, they are greatly despised among men. You know, and in particular, these Jakes are starting to get sick and tired of Esau's oppression, and are starting to rise up and make their voices known. And eventually, it's going to culminate in a race war, man. You know, but we're coming into the time where the wicked is about to be taken out of power, man. You know, now that we know who our enemy is and what their goal and objective is, hey, it's up to us to lean on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Psalms 92 and start at 6, it says, "A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth the fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they should be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore." So, hey, man, eventually, hey, the wicked will be cut out. You know, we've drunken of the cup of affliction. We've been oppressed, downtrodden, you know, had our heritage stripped from us. And now it's time for these Edomites to drink of that cup, man. And for our enemy to be recompensed for all that he has done, you know, to the saints. So I hope this lesson was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom. I'll see you in the next lesson, Lord's willing.